reformed, this country's entire legal system is at grave risk of implosion.
They say what will it take judiciary for this country? Say you know easy. Say it could cause so many confusion. But say no be the main matter. Make we hear am complete. Make you no be like say they talk too much. But before I go unleash the package, please make sure say you follow me. It don't cost you anything. Touch the like button. Even at all, like am now. Or you share am. Now let's go there.
Reformed, this country's entire legal system is at grave risk of implosion. So what will it take to make Nigeria's judiciary great again? Or is that golden age of celebrated judges now in the past? These days, as we load up on the fright fest that dominate the internet about the state of the institution of the judiciary, those questions are regularly asked as Nigerians assess the challenges and pressures that judges face today and wonder whether that period when they were at their peak has now been confined to memory. So will the Tinubu government produce a magic wand to fix Nigeria's judicial impasse? Is a big change, or is that a fool's paradise? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the senior advocate of Nigeria and untiring proponent of judicial reform, Jibrin Samuel Okutepa, who has written extensively and spoken volubly about Nigeria's election challenges. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, again, dragging me to this program.
And I think the word drag is appropriate.
I seem to be tired of talking. I hope that after we say what we need to say, and we will say it here, those who have the capacity to give effect to it will do so.
Well, I think your words have a lot of weight because you are a respected senior advocate of Nigeria. And let's just start with that confusion over the appeals court judgment on the Kano election that you heard Toby Shoni, a judiciary editor, talking about there. What do you make of the discrepancies that have emerged? How much does that point a finger at the trustworthiness of the judicial system?
Maybe, Charles, the reason why this controversy is assuming a magnifying proportion is because of the times we find ourselves, where the rating for the judiciary had gone down very considerably. This is not the first time that you will have some of these conflicting conclusions in the decisions of their lordships, particularly in election matters. I was personally a victim, so to speak, times in 2016, when in the case of Senator Atai Aidoko Usman, there were 18 enrollment orders in which my clients had favorable orders. My clients had his election nullified, election order to be, a rerun order to be done, which eventually my clients was excluded by INEC. So you can see it in Abubakar versus Usman. It's reported in 2017, and I got pissed off relying on Senator versus Owen because of the grounds that led to that decision, which I felt were grounds that election petition tribunal, relying on the previous decisions of the Supreme Court. I went to Supreme Court to say that the decisions of the Court of Appeal that are actually all signed by their lordships, by the presiding justice. Unfortunately, I became a victim of my adventure to have the Supreme Court listening to me, because I was admonished and told that by virtue of section 246 or so of the Constitution, appeal is senatorial matter terminates at the Court of Appeal, that I ought not to have come there. But there were previous decisions of the Supreme Court, Senator Ucha versus Owen, that the Supreme Court entertained appeal under the same 1999 Constitution. So, and because of the tension in this country, I respect the institution of judiciary. I will not join the mob action. I would like to give the benefit of doubt to their lordships who gave the decisions.
Right.
And if that benefit is in their favor, and they can, with some considerable understanding from those of us who are members of this noble profession, then we need not to magnify it to give this appeal of impropriety.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I mean, I don't want to bang on about it, and we're going to move on in a minute, but the fact that those conflicting judgments were introduced into that certified
I read the judgment.
Yeah.
It is the concluding part of the judgment.
That's the point.
Of the preside of his lordship that read the lead judgment, that you see
the mix-up.
The mix-up.
Yeah, but what I wanted to ask
when you read the body of the judgment, when you read the body of the judgment,
to confirm what was said at the outset.
So the concluding part that are conflicting are those not things that, when we have sovereignty and reasonability, if our including good old days that you want us to talk about, would it have made this kind of heavy news that everyone become a lawyer? I concede that the judicial system as of today has a very dwindled image in the sight of
I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I just want to sort this bit out so we can move on. In other words, what do you think happened there? I mean, because the reason...
It could be typographical error.
Yeah, but if it's a typographical error...
It could be human error.
Yeah, but the problem there is that the certified true copy is signed by the judges. Right.
The enroll order 2 was signed by the presiding justice. Sometimes the pressure in reading what you think you have written could be there. That's why in normal drafting techniques, it is not proper for you who have written a document to read it and produce file-proof documents.
You always want to have a second pair of eyes.
I'm wondering why their lordships who were members of the panel who read the leading judgment